There are many rules and penalties that are enforced during a football game. Most football penalties result in a loss or a gain of yards, depending on whether the penalty is against the offense or the defense. Both the offense and the defense can commit penalties, and multiple penalties can be levied on a team in a single play. In addition, some penalties may offset each other, meaning both the offense and defense committed a penalty during the play. So the yards gained and lost by either team is equal, and the ball is spotted at the original place at the start of the play. The severity of a penalty will determine the number of yards lost or gained. Most penalties are 5 or 10 yards, but some penalties, like personal fouls and unsportsmanlike conduct, can result in a 15-yard gain or loss. Also, pass interference penalties can result in a penalty that matches the length of the intended pass. A pass interference is when a player touches or blocks another player from catching the ball before the player has touched the ball. In American football, once the ball is thrown, everyone on the field has an opportunity to catch it. Impeding a player from catching the ball is a pass interference. Once the ball is touched by a player, pass interference is no longer valid, and the player attempting to catch the ball is open to a big hit. The team that did not commit the penalty has the right to decline the penalty. We'll talk about all the possible penalties in the discussions section of this course, but here are some of the more common football penalties. A false start is when a player on the offense moves just prior to the snap. Before the ball is snapped, an offense can only have one player in motion, and that player cannot be lined up along the line of scrimmage in front of the quarterback. These players are known as the offensive line. A false start will result in a 5-yard penalty levied on the offense. Offsides is when a player from the offense or defense is on the wrong side of the line of scrimmage at the time of the snap. A defensive player can cross the line of scrimmage as long as they get back before the snap. But if they touch an offensive player, they can be called for encroachment. Both offsides and encroachments are 5-yard penalties. Holding is when a player grabs an opposing player without the ball with his hands or hooks him or tackles him. A player can block another player, but if the player being blocked gets around his blocker, the blocker cannot grab or hold him from behind. This is holding, and it will result in a penalty on whichever team committed the penalty. Pass interference is when a defender contacts a pass receiver after the ball is in the air to prevent him from catching the ball. This is up to the referee to determine, and this is a big penalty. Usually, this penalty's yardage is assessed at the spot of the foul, meaning at the exact spot the penalty happened. So, if the play was a 20 or 30-yard pass that resulted in an interference call, this could potentially result in a 20 or 30-yard gain for the offense. A pass interference penalty can also be levied on the offense if a defensive player is in the right position to make an interception and is trying to catch the ball. To protect football players, it is illegal to grab another player's face mask. Intentional grounding is when the quarterback throws a pass nowhere near an eligible receiver strictly to avoid being sacked. An ineligible receiver downfield is when one of the offensive players that is not an eligible receiver is more than 5 yards downfield from the line of scrimmage during a forward pass. Now that you know a few of the things that your team shouldn't do, let's talk about the men who shouldn't do them, the players.